for the Chargers, and they score!
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome here. I'm going to turn my mic down a little bit because that's definitely a little loud. Here on 321 Media, the inaugural episode of The Hot Seat with myself, Dan LaBelle, and we have a very, very special guest today. I'm going to just read through some of her accolades that she's accumulated. First team All-State all 4 years, right? D2 state champion at Charahoe in 2021. As a first-team All-Stater as a freshman, the only person in Charahoe history to do that. Moving up to Division I, led her team to the semifinals multiple times. Played for the New England's premier soccer club, very high-level club in New England. One of the top recruits in New England. Currently playing for the Rhode Island Rogues in the Women's Premier Soccer League. And then also, she is an LSU, a women's soccer player as well, which you went there a little bit in the spring, right?
Yep.
How was that?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was great to just get to know the girls and understand kind of how everything works. I think getting a relationship with the coaches and being able to have them trust me early on is going to be helpful in the fall.
Now, how big was just like the athleticism, the size, and just like the smartness of those players compared against, a lot of the high school players that you play against?
It's a huge difference, I will say, especially playing in the SEC. Like, it's more of an American-style soccer league, so I think a lot of girls are just really technical, fast. I realized I was not the fastest player early on, so
Yep.
It was definitely trying to work around that. And then I think I just came in with confidence, which helped me a lot, and I think my coaches kind of noticed that as well. And I think that's like the biggest difference that I made in myself, just going in with confidence, especially as being the youngest player.
If you don't have confidence out there, then you're not going to go succeed, right? That's with anybody. Let's go back a little bit. How was growing up, going through the Charahoe Youth Soccer Association? I know soccer is like the main thing in Charahoe, both on the boys and girls side, but especially with girls soccer. There's always like 30-some girls at the high school level who play, and the youth system is huge. How was it for you?
I think it was really helpful. We had like a great pool of coaches, and they were mostly parents. They either played at the high level of college, like either Division I or that was Division III, but they all knew what they were doing. I mean, I think Jess Babineau was my first coach, and she really helped me out so much, like just being able to grow as a player, especially at such a young age, and try new things. And then, of course, I had my dad, who was very helpful in that scene as well. He played Division I. So it was really good to have like those coaches. And then the group of girls that I grew up with, I think I played up because I was in 2006. So I kind of was on the bubble, and I started playing with like all the grade above me, which was really helpful, like Reed Dos Santos, Tori Babineau, Rachel Abbott. Those were like really my key players who helped me along the way.
Now, you mentioned your dad a little bit. I know he's been very active in the Charahoe Youth Soccer Association. Middle school coach, too, right?
Yeah, he is.
The girls' middle school coach. Just talk about how big of an impact that he's had, on your life.
I think he put soccer in our lives like super early, which was super helpful. And then like we had like my dad would line the backyard for us, and we'd have pickup games, and we could invite all of our friends in the neighborhood. And I think like I learned how to strike a ball with no shoes on in the backyard, just over and over with repetition and his help. And especially like growing up with sisters, I had 3 sisters, so they helped as well. Like my older sister would let me play up. She was like U16. I think I was U12 at the time.
Yep.
It was crazy. And my dad like allowed me to do it. And I think it was also like a lot of help with my mom too, because I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking having your 12-year-old play a 16-year-old. So I think she was like really able to push me as well and help me. And they drove me hours and hours to practice. So,
and that's what some people don't realize, right? The sacrifice that not only parents but like siblings sometimes make, traveling to all your tournaments. I have 3 siblings as well, and that was a lot of the same with my family, going to baseball tournaments, basketball, whatever it was. But it was all worth it in the end. We had a lot of great times together. And obviously now you're seeing that success going to LSU. But let's talk about your time at Charahoe High School as well. Being a freshman, right, coming in, how was that at first? Did you like have an idea you were going to be, a starter and be able to contribute, or did that confidence, like you were talking about, needed to be built up a little bit?
I think I went in with confidence just because I had like a pretty good year at the middle school, and then I was just like, I've always been confident in myself, and my sister, who's a senior at the time, was like really helpful in the way like she was a striker, I was a midfielder, and we just had like a really good connection starting off. And I think that really helped. And then also like the girls that were seniors at the time, like there was no like jealousy or anything, so it really helped me like just be able to like flourish in my natural environment and like try new things, and it was just really fun.
Well, and on that team, and honestly, throughout all of your 4 years at Chariho, there's been multiple players that have gone on to play at the college level as well. So
Yeah.
that must have helped you in some way too,
No,
right? Playing with good
definitely.
players definitely helps.
Yeah, no, it definitely helps, and I think Chariho has always produced like really good players, whether it's just athleticism or skill, or everyone has something to bring to the table, and you can't. Soccer's not a one-person show. You cannot get anywhere without a
No,
good team. So
absolutely. Pretty much any sport you can't get anywhere
yeah,
without a complete team. Now you got to play not only with Bree, who's your older sister, right?
yeah,
But you got to play with Addie, your younger sister,
yeah.
as well. Now, growing up, I was able to play with my younger brother Dylan, who's a
Mhm.
year below me, but I never got to play with Tyler because he was he was
Yeah.
5 years behind me. How was that being able to play with both of your sisters?
They're like very different personalities and very different players. So I think it was fun being able to have like Bree, who's more of like not she's more like confident, and Addie is not as confident. So I feel like I got to be Bree for Addie, what she was for me. So I got to just like kind of coach Addie and kind of tell her like, oh, you got this, and like she played from the start too. So it was a lot of fun just being able to play with her. And she played in the midfield and I played up top. So it was kind of like just switched roles. So it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, a question I wanted to ask you, because you see all of these athletes in all these different sports now, want to go the prep way, right?
Mhm.
Want to go to a different school, want to get more exposure, whatever. Why did you decide that you wanted to stay at Chariho?
I think it was a conversation that I had with my parents, like going into, I think it was freshman year. And obviously, I had my sister, so that was a big help. But at the same time, soccer is a good sport where you need club to play at the next level, and high school really doesn't matter that much. And I was like, I don't want to go to a LaSalle and where everyone pretty much goes to the next level. I want to go and represent Chariho and be the first person and give the credit to Chariho because they were the people that brought me up, the youth league. If I didn't have that league, like I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really appreciate your perspective on that because I think a lot of people don't really look at it like that, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're good, you're going to get noticed, right?
Yeah.
If you work hard enough, which obviously I know you do, and I'm going to have some questions for you about that. But yeah, if you work hard and you're a talented player, like you're gonna find the right college coaches.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that you played for the New England Premier Soccer Club. How was that?
It was fun. I mean, the only issue was it was like an hour and 30 minutes away, and it was 3 days a week. And then we'd go to New Jersey, New York, California, Florida. So it was just a lot of stress on my family, but I think we all kind of managed it well. And Addie started playing as well, like with them. So we kind of got to carpool together and we got closer through that. I mean, my parents got closer because we're spending in 3 hours in the car together every day. So I think I'm like very lucky, and the coaches there were amazing and they really helped me and they had great connections. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. It's like a lot of connections with the sports world. Obviously, if you're good, you're going to get noticed, but it really does help if you have the connections and being able to play against people that are going to the next level. And then my teammates who go to Brown, UConn, like all these great schools. So it was helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about it yesterday on the morning show here on 321 with my grandpa, but I got asked the question, what habit, or habits kind of changed your life? And I was like, just kind of putting myself out there more,
Yeah.
like trying to build connections, being a little bit more talkative, trying to take a few more risks. And it sounds like you did exactly that. Who were some of the best players you would say that you played with? Maybe like top three.
Well, I played with Nico Kjorps. I played up at the New England Football Club for a while, and she plays at Penn State now. She actually tore both her ACLs, so she hasn't played yet, but she's an unbelievable player, played for the U.S. national team in the World Cup, just unbelievable. I've never played with a player that plays as silky and smooth as her. So I think she really helped me with my game. And then I have Bella Garces, who's at Princeton right now. And then I think probably Kendall Bodak, who's at Clemson. She played on the 2006 team. She is up at the national team right now. So
you guys just heard that. Pretty big names right there. Pretty big names. Now, speaking of ACL injuries, you see them more and more, especially more so women's soccer players. Like it seems like I see one of those injuries all the time, but it's across all sports, and you unfortunately had to deal with one of those.
Yeah.
Talk about initially, right? Like, what was your thoughts? Like, was it going to be like, hey, like, this really sucks. I don't know how I'm going to come back from it. Or was it just like, I'm going to attack this head on. Like, I really love soccer and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get that back out there on the field and be the same player, if not a better player.
Yeah, I think when I first got injured, I was upset. It was a really, took a really big toll on me. I just committed to LSU like a month prior. So I think having to call them and tell them, oh, I just tore my ACL, and not knowing what's going to happen, because there is some coaches that might release that verbal
Absolutely.
offer. And my coach has torn her ACL 3 times, and she knows the pain, and she was like, you're just going to get better. And I mean, I kind of found the bright side of it. I never really got to hang out with my friends in high school because I was always playing soccer. So it gave me kind of a light to be able to do a lot more things, especially that junior year, knowing that I was going to graduate early. And I think I just attacked it head on. I had some great people help me along the way, like Tier 1 physical therapy was with me the whole way. And then AMP Training Center at EG, They were unbelievable, just continuously helped me. It was like 3 days a week I think I was in there, and Andy, the owner, was just like, we're going to figure this out. He knew everything. He was super knowledgeable, and of course I didn't know anything. I was like, I just want to get back to being better. I think I spent like 3 hours there one time just doing field work, cutting, stuff like that. So he really took the time and like kind of invested in me. So
yeah, I mean, it takes a lot to be able to come back from an injury like that. Fortunately, I haven't, knock on wood, had to deal with anything like that. Hopefully that doesn't happen to me. But my sister, Brittany, you probably know her. She tore her ACL during her sophomore year of basketball.
Yeah.
And it just took a big toll on her. You know, she eventually ended up finishing her senior year, and I was able to coach her, so that was pretty cool. But physically, mentally, emotionally, like, took a lot out of her.
Yeah.
I'm sure it did the same for you a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced something like that. I've never been hurt like this. And I think the surgery, like the first 10 days, I was down and out. I couldn't do anything, couldn't walk. I think that's where I was like getting frustrated with myself that I couldn't do anything. So I think that's the point. And then I realized like, oh man, I just need to get to the points. I'd set goals for myself. And I was like, oh, I want to be running in 6 months. And that's what I kind of put my goal to. And I think it was nice that I was able to take as long as like the time that I needed to recover. So I almost took like the full year, which I think helped as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's the other thing. Some people don't take their time enough trying to come back from those injuries, and can obviously re-injure it even worse as well.
Yep.
Another question I wanted to ask you, assistant coach before he unfortunately passed away, Scotty McGuire.
Yeah.
Really big presence. He coached at Westerly for a little bit, and obviously he bled green. He was there around the campus all the time. Rest in peace, Scotty. We miss you. But just kind of talk about the impact that he had on you.
I think like as soon as I got to the team, he was like the person that was like, you're going to do great things. And he really like believed in me. And like we would talk about soccer, and he was a big soccer fan. So it was like easy to talk to him. And like we would like, even though he was yelling at us and we might have been frustrated, like I still knew it came from a great place and that he wanted us to do well. So we had like a really great relationship. And obviously I was super sad when he passed, but I mean, he lived a great life.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you could hear him right from the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
Hear his voice over anybody on that sideline, whether it's the girls soccer or girls lacrosse, you could always hear him. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you about that because he touched so many lives in the Chariho community.
Yeah, definitely
and,
mine.
and I'm sure he touched yours as well. Speaking of coaches at Chariho, you got to play for Brittany Godbout.
Mm-hmm.
How was it playing for her?
It was good. I think it was definitely like good to be able to like talk about what I wanted for the team, and like she would listen, and I think that really helped. Like I think it was just like a cultural changes that we need to make, and then obviously like just playing wise, and I think we all like kind of work together, and she really allows the captains to like speak what they say, and I think it was a good experience.
Yeah, I think that's so important as a coach. You know, sometimes I don't think coaches listen to players enough.
Yeah.
You know, coaches can just go in there sometimes and be like, yeah, like I know everything, like it's my way or the highway, right?
Yeah.
But the approach that I've tried to take, and just through listening to some great coaches through podcasts and things like that, is like listen to your players, you know, because if they're not, you know, all in on what you want to do, then you're not going to be a successful team anyway. So that's great to hear that, you know, Coach Godbout was able to have that relationship and those conversations with you to help the team get better. And this past season, you guys fell short, but you guys were up 4-1 in the semifinal game. I hate to bring bad memories to you. But just talk about the season, like how proud of you, despite the loss, right?
Yeah.
Moving up from seeing yourself as a freshman in Division II, and then really being one of the best teams in the state this past year. How was that for you and the rest of the team?
I think we were really excited, especially like my sophomore year when we realized, oh, we're actually going to be a great team. Like, this is not just like you move up to D1 and you sit in the bottom of the table the whole year, don't make playoffs. Like, I think we kind of realized and we had confidence in ourselves that we were able to do that. And I think all of us knew, like, we were playing with all these girls that played in Division I since we were youth. So it's not like a big change for us. Like, obviously the speed of play was a little bit faster and it took us a little bit of time to realize that. But I think the quality of players just was not a Division II level. It was a Division I, and we just were in that league at the time. So I think it was really nice that we were able to just move up. And then this past season, I think we all just had the mentality that we wanted to win a state championship.
That'll come eventually.
Yeah, that'll come eventually. But I think we just wanted to win a state championship, especially as our last year as like captains, just going from understanding the D2 level and then being able to work our way up to Division I. Obviously, we fell short and it was unfortunate, but I think we all can say that we put our best in the season and we really worked together and were able to like kind of change a little bit of like what we started with and made it better. And I think we made the program better.
Now, I read a story in the Providence Journal. Get ready for this interview. You didn't really have to come back for your senior year, essentially.
Yeah, no.
Right? Like, you didn't have to.
Yeah.
So, why did you decide to do it?
Well, I called LSU because I obviously kind of wanted to run it by them and what they thought. And they were like, you should go back. You're going to get your confidence back. You don't want to go into college and just be thrown into the deep end. I was like, that makes sense. I didn't really think about it like that because I just think, oh, I don't want to get hurt before I go to school. And they're like, you're going to get, like, if a re-injury, like, it's just going to happen. Like, there's no, like, trying to put the percentage down. Like, they were like, just get your confidence, play with the players you've been playing with your whole life, enjoy your senior year, hopefully win a state championship, and just play and get your confidence back. And I think that was the real game changer going into LSU, being able to play half a season with the girls that I've been playing with since I was growing up. Yeah,
of course, getting to play on your knee a little bit, right? Getting those movements down, having more confidence that you can go out there and just move the way you were moving before.
Yep.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. That's why they're at that level, coaching, right? We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for the last half hour. We're sitting down with LSU women's soccer player Ryann Denecour. We'll be back after a few short messages.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite Contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're here on 321 Media, the inaugural episode of The Hot Seat with Dan LaBelle, and we have a very special guest. Couldn't really think of a better guest to have for my first episode. Division I athlete, LSU women's soccer player, Ryann Denecour, Chariho graduate this year as well. And we were just kind of talking off air about the facilities at LSU. Kind of talk to everybody about those, because I'm sure it's a lot different than Chariho. As nice as the Matty Potts Field House, we'll just talk about that in a little bit. But just talk about the facilities over there at LSU.
I think that was one of the main reasons why I went there and why I chose it. There's no men's soccer team, so it's
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's just a women's soccer team, and we have 2 fields. They're amazing. The groundskeeper keeps them so nice. It's the field and then the stadium, and then we have our own field house with like a medical area. Then we have our locker room, a place to like a kitchen and like a place to chill out, and then we have a film room. So it's all right there, and I think it was like super easy to just scooter over, and then you have everything right there where you don't need to walk across campus to get there. And then for our recovery, we have a recovery suite and football ops that we're allowed to use. And we have cold tubs, cryotherapy, red light therapy, anything you could ask for. So we take time slots, like we'll have mandatory recovery days, and they'll do a little circuit of what we have to do. And that was really nice, just being able to use it.
Yeah, did you feel a difference in your body and your recovery after being a little bit there for the spring, as opposed to, I'm sure you had a routine and stuff in high school as far as taking care of yourself. You have to as an athlete, right?
Yeah.
But at most high schools, you don't have access to all that stuff. So how'd your body feel? What was the difference?
I think the first 2 weeks I was completely just messed up. My back hurt for the first time in my whole life. I was like, what is going on? The amount of running we were doing, the amount of trying to get fit, just like practices that were 3 hours long that I've never done in my whole life.
Yep.
So I think that was hard. But then like after I got into my routine, like we would run on a Friday, and then we'd use the recovery suite after, and we'd go hot and cold tub, and then we'd finish in the sauna. And it was just really nice to be able to like feel rejuvenated and then like rest for the weekend. And like for the first time ever, I went early and I started rolling out, and I started doing, I'm kind of a lazy person, so I would rather get the 15 minutes extra of sleep. But I mean,
I'm kind of the same way sometimes. Yep.
I was like, I got to get there early. I got to get treatment, and like being able to like make time for that. And like obviously it's hard with a busy schedule. You got classes, you got everything else, but I think just making time to be able to recover your body was super important for me.
Yeah, so you graduated high school early. You were you were done with classes. Did you start taking any classes in the spring there?
Yeah, I took a full load.
Wow.
Which was interesting. My coaches were not very happy when they found out about that. I really didn't know coming in. I was just like, oh, I'm going to do whatever the academic advisor says. And we take 2 online, which was really helpful. So we'll be 2 online, and then I think I had 3 in person, but it was long, and my days were long.
Yeah, I'm sure. Now, talk about how difficult is that, because you go from high school, and obviously it's a balance, right?
Yeah.
But being a Division I athlete, and then also having to do that coursework in college and stuff. A lot of people, most people don't play Division I sports, right?
Yeah.
Kind of talk about how difficult that is, and what did you have to work on, initially there?
I think like I've always been a very like prepared person. Like just in my head, I'm like, I need to do this, I need to do that. So I've been kind of organized through like my coursework, which was fine in high school. But then when I got to college, I'm running from my 10:30 practice to make it to my 10:30 class, and I'm dripped in sweat, and it's just kind of like miserable. You kind of have to like understand that this is like one of the sacrifices you have to make. And I think it was like easy because I had a lot of resources there. There's like a lady, she's amazing. I text her anything. I'm like, hey, I don't know how to do this. And she's like, I got you. And she just figures it all out. So I think the resources really helped with that. And like they have tutoring. I was in tutoring twice a week.
Yep.
It's just added time to your schedule, but at the same time, it was super helpful. And I don't think I would have done as well if I didn't.
No, I'm sure. I played junior college basketball, and that was a little bit difficult at points. I couldn't even imagine doing a Division I sport as well. Now going back to kind of your training and stuff growing up, what did you feel was like the most important part of, your soccer? Was it sleep and recovery? Was it the actual training? Was it the nutrition? Was it watching film? What would you say it was like the most important, or like the few most important things that, kind of culminate into making the player you are today?
I feel like it was definitely watching film and then also just the trainings. And I think those both go along with I really enjoy watching film and like understanding what I need to do to get better. And then also I really enjoy doing the extra mile, like going. I was the most stayed after player at LSU. We do
Oh, wow.
pro time, and my coaches at the end of the year meeting were like, you stayed after the most out of any person that was on the team. And I was like, I just enjoy it. Like, they were like, keep it up. Like, you have to keep doing it. I was like, I enjoy it. Like, I want to do it. Like, that's what makes me happy. Like, it wasn't like I need to do it to get better. It was more like, this is fun. Like, I want to get better and I want to just be able to like strive in LSU. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I was the same way when I played over at Avery Point in Groton. Sometimes my coaches are like, "Man, you're still here. Like, what are you doing?" They didn't keep track of it, obviously, like LSU did.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, I just enjoyed it. I'd rather do that than like a lot of times go to a party or like anything like that.
Yeah.
Like that was like my happy place, and it sounds like that was the same thing for you. How is the nutrition, right? I'm sure they have like everything that you can imagine over there.
Yeah.
Kind of talk about that.
Well, this is funny because I'm the pickiest eater on the planet. I do not eat any fruits or any vegetables, which I think my coaches are gonna kill me when they.
Yeah, they definitely are. They're gonna force fruit and vegetables down your throat.
Yeah, so I've always struggled with nutrition, and like obviously my mom is like so mad at me for it, and like any parent would be. So I think it was really kind of a struggle. But then when I got to school, it's an athlete only dining hall, and used to be the Seattle Seahawks chef. So he's like amazing, cool. Like, and they're really good. So I always find something to eat. Like, I love protein. I like rice, chicken and rice. So, I mean, I think I do need to get better in that aspect of just maybe smoothies or something like that. But I think nutrition has not been the biggest part in my success. But
yeah, I mean, whatever works for you, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to a spot, where you're a Division I soccer player doing that.
Yeah.
Whatever works for everybody. Everybody's bodies are different as well. Now, the next question I have for you, Women's Premier Soccer League, the Rhode Island Rogues.
Yeah.
Is this your first season playing in that?
This is my first season. Yeah.
How has that been?
It's been a lot of fun. Like, I think when I got to college, you're so stressed out about like performing at such a high level that like you kind of forget to sometimes have fun, especially in games. And like the Rogues was like a really high level for like all of our resources that we have. Like, obviously women's soccer isn't like the most funded, but Shannon, who's our like owner, she's a school teacher and she does a really great job of like providing everything that we need, and like our coaches are amazing. So like they kind of run it like it's a professional team without the resources, which is really impressive
for sure.
So I think it was just like being able to have fun again, and I played with one of my club teammates, Julia Hargraves, so I got to play with her again, and I think it was just like a lot of fun just being able to like play free and like a little less stress on me. Obviously we wanted to get 3 points every weekend, but like it was more just like having fun, trying new things, and like getting to be comfortable on the ball again, because I think you kind of forget that when you go to college. Like, you're so stressed out about, oh, do I make the right play? Oh, is my body shape good? Like, I think it was more just like free, and now I'm going to bring that over into the fall.
Yeah, that's a valuable experience heading into, a Division I soccer program like LSU. How many Rhode Island players are on the team?
I want to say at least 5 or 6, like including me. Yeah, we have a couple like of high school girls, like Bella Cameo, who played for NK. She's going to, I think, Central Connecticut, and there's a couple others that are little high school players. But it was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of like different people on the team. Like, some girl was traveling from New Hampshire and would stay with the owner for 2 days out of the week. So she made a sacrifice there too. So it was nice that everyone wanted to be a part of something that is growing.
How many teams were in the league, and how long has the league been around?
I actually don't know the answer to that question because I'm new to the league, but I want to say there's at least 7 or 8 teams.
Oh, wow.
Obviously the league is a lot bigger, like around the country, but like for our conference, like where we play, our region, I think it is, it's like 7 or 8, and then we play 10 games, and then from there you make it to the finals. But unfortunately I'll be back at school if we make it there.
Yeah, right.
So
now we were talking off air a little bit. LSU has been ranked over the past few years, right? I believe I was following a little bit during the fall. I think at one point they were up to like 13 or whatever in the poll. talk about, is there any pressure going into any situation like that? Hey, I'm going to play for, a ranked nationally school in Division One, right? Or is it more excitement? Like, hey, I want the challenge. I want to play on that big stage.
I think it's exciting, and like also that's like a team that's building because our coach has only been there for 5 years, so she's kind of trying to build something, and like I just want to be a part of something that's gonna be amazing, and I'm not going into something that's already been put on the map. So I think it's like we're at a reachable spot, and we play nationally ranked teams every week because SEC is so good,
so tough,
so
in all sports too.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So I think it's really nice to be able to play at like one of the best conferences in the country, and obviously it's nerve-wracking. And I think my first game, like we played Mississippi State and Florida, and like that was the first game I started in the spring, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so nerve-wracking. Like I watched these girls on TV for 2 years.
Yep.
Like now I'm playing against them and like competing against them. So
now, what are your goals heading into this season? Like, is it a thing where like, hey, I want to work as hard as I can to possibly get a starting spot, right? Which should be everybody's goal, obviously, right? But if that doesn't happen right at first, what can you take away from just being on the team?
Yeah, I think it was like a conversation with my coaches like towards the end of the season. Like I think they have a lot of faith in me and like trust. So I think it's definitely like pushing me more towards like wanting to win that starting spot. Obviously we have a 5th-year transfer that just got in, a right winger. She runs 20 miles per hour. So she's unbelievable. So I mean, all credit to her. We were kind of switching on and off in the spring, and I played almost half a game every game. So that was also like really boosting my confidence to be able to want to win a starting spot.
Of course.
So I think the left side might be open this year. So I played on the left for the Rhode Island Rogues to try to perfect. Obviously, having a left foot is really tough. So
it is.
So
I never played soccer, but I can only imagine having a left-handed basketball is difficult. Never mind a left foot in soccer.
So I'm trying to win that spot, and obviously I want to win a starting spot, but I'll be happy with any minutes I get. Obviously at the biggest stage, like in college, I just want to be able to play and do what I love to do. So
now you play midfield, right?
I play striker.
You play striker.
Yeah,
okay.
I played midfield in high school. But
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, when playing that position, right? So obviously you move a little bit to where it's like kind of less movement, I guess, but it's a faster pace, so you still have to be in even better shape. But just talk about playing that midfield position in high school. I mean, it had to be a little bit difficult at points, right?
Yeah, I think my freshman year I played the most like at midfield, and like it was really difficult, but I had Eva Simmons behind me, and she was a workhorse. She would do a lot of the dirty work for me, and then I'd get the ball and be able to do what I wanted to do with it. So I give a lot of credit to her to our success that year, because she was doing all the dirty work and I was kind of just getting the ball and doing what I love to do. So it was obviously like a lot different than striker, but I do think I enjoyed like just being able to be around the ball a lot more than like normal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I played soccer, that would definitely be the position I would want to play, because like I love just being constantly and everything.
Yeah.
Now Aubrey Courier, I've known her for a long time. Just talk about the relationship you have with her. She just committed this past season to play at Emmanuel College in Boston.
Yeah.
Actually went there for a little bit to school. It was a lot of fun. The Red Sox have not won the championship ever since I've been there. Just saying. Red Sox and Patriots. So it might have been the good luck charm there. But how was your guys' relationship? I know you guys have known each other ever since you guys were young.
We grew up together. Addie, my sister, is best friends with her, and we all just became friends. And then obviously it transformed into the field. When I would play midfield, it would be pass it to Aubrey. She'll do her thing, and then we all get in the box and hopefully score off a cross. So it was a lot of fun, and I think like being able to like have that team, like I encourage everyone that plays on the middle school team to play on the high school team, because it is just so fun being able to go into school, and especially in the fall it's really nerve-wracking to have just like immediate like family, and being able to like just hang out with people after school and just going to Dunkin' and just doing fun things like that. I think it really just helped our chemistry a lot.
Now, not only with Aubrey, but I know a lot of the girls soccer players at Chariho were all really, really close with one another.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer, not only being a former player, but now as a coach, like the more tight-knit your team is, not only on the field, but more importantly off the field, doing things together, like going to the beach, right, going bowling, whatever it may be. How important is that to develop a really good team?
I think it's super important. Like you can have all the team bonding you want, and like obviously if your team doesn't click, you don't click. But I think it's just reaching out, and we do the thing where like you become sisters with someone. So it's you take someone that's younger, maybe a freshman or a sophomore, and I was just hanging out with my sister from high school. So I mean, like, I think that really helps as well. And just like being able to reach out as an older kid and wanting everyone to feel included and feel like that they're a part of this family and that they're the reason for our success, even if they're might not be playing every minute. Like, I think everyone, whether they're just giving you a high five when you're off the bench, I think it's so important.
Now, how important, because a lot of people don't realize this, or, they might be, these type of players right now where they're not seeing so many minutes, but they're working really hard in practice, like challenging the starters. How important is it for those, so-called bench players to really challenge each other in practice, for everybody to be going hard in order to make the team better?
Yeah, I think it's really important, especially just having a goal for yourself. Like, oh, I want to be the person that's playing every minute. And like, I think it like comes down, especially with girls, it's a lot of jealousy.
Yep.
And I think just being able to keep your mind like at a solid like pace and just be like, I'm going to get there one day and I'm just going to challenge this person and I'm going to make their life harder on the field. And then I'm going to be their best friend off the field. And I think that's super important to always like remember, even if you're not the best player, just enjoy the time you're having being on the ball.
Those are some of the best friends that I've developed and I still talk to, with those people that I would go hard against in basketball practices. We would challenge each other in baseball. Like that's what really sticks.
Yeah.
And people, everybody wants everything, because you see these things, you can just find anything on here right away. You can look anything up, do anything like that. So there's a lot of instant gratification that people kind of want. And it's kind of working through those, that process to be able to get to something to what you want. And some people aren't willing to be able to go through it. How important was that for you? Because I know you had faced your ups and downs going throughout your career.
Yeah, I think it was like really important, especially just like being able to have like hard conversations with people, like whether it's just like understanding like where they're coming from as well. So like I think it's just like interesting to see like everyone like everything's put online nowadays. So I think it's just being able to like be grateful and like for everything that you have, but then also like encourage the people that aren't maybe starting or playing every minute. So
absolutely. And that's the definition of a great leader, which I know you were and will continue to be at LSU. Honest self-reflection. I feel like not a lot of people do it nowadays, where like you truly look at yourself and be like, hey, I got to look at myself first to see, not outwardly blame somebody else for like my lack of playing time, like my lack of production. How important was that for you growing up? And was that something you had to work on, or was that kind of instilled in from your parents or other people that you had in your life?
I think it was definitely instilled in from my parents, but like I think I definitely had a point in my career. I remember it was one tournament I did not start, and it was for NEFC, and we went all the way out to Arizona. And I realized that I was like, I cannot just keep going based off my natural talent and my natural ability. I need to put the extra work in. I never used to be the player that grabbed the bag of balls and just like would hit a couple balls after practice. Like I was like, I need to work on myself if I want to get to the next level. And I think that was like the biggest like change and flip of a switch that I made in my whole career. And then the next year I committed to one of my dream schools. So I think that was like awesome to just realize and self-reflect and just understand what I need to do to be at the next level.
Yeah, it seemed like that was a big habit that you changed. And, you just talked about it in the spring. You ended up staying after the most after practice, right? Out of all those talented female soccer players on that team. So that says a lot about you. What would be your biggest piece of advice for, not only girls and, honestly, any soccer player or any athlete growing up through high school and middle school? What would be your biggest piece of advice to them?
I think like this is really cliche, but like everything happens for a reason. Like I think that like all the injuries that I've endured, or like everything, like maybe I didn't play or I didn't start, like everything is just motivation. And I think you just need to take it like that. And I think you can't get worked up and like focus on one thing. I think you just need to understand like what you have to do to get better and just continuously and set goals for yourself. That's really what helped.
What were some of the goals that, you set for yourself growing up?
I think I just really wanted to be at like the next level every single time. Like I did not start on the first team. I did not, it wasn't just like an immediate like, oh, I'm going to be the best player. I think from a very young age, I think I was 12, I started playing like an hour away for an EFC, and I was not the best player. I sat the bench actually, and I set the goal that I'm going to be the best player by the end of this like season. And then you keep moving up. I moved to the next GA, I think or DA, I think at the time,
Yep.
which was the next best league. I was not the best player. I was playing up. I was playing half a game, and obviously I wasn't content with that. And I realized I need to work better. And then I ended up being one of the best players on that team. And then I moved to another team and I wasn't the best player, so I just always wanted to motivate myself to work harder.
Well, that's so important. It's really impressive that at that age that you realize that, because I think a lot of young athletes don't realize that quick enough. You know, they want to be the best player on their team, of course, right? Who doesn't?
Yeah.
But if you're the best player in the room, then you're not going to get any better. Right?
Yeah.
It's putting yourself in those situations to really try to challenge yourself and be like, oh, like this person's better than me. Like I got to continue to keep working and just keep continuing to find those opportunities.
Yeah, I think my parents really like let me know that like it's not okay to just be the best on one team. Like there's always a level that you can go up, and like at the end of the year you want to be the best player, but you never want to be the best player going into a team. And that's the same with LSU. I'm not the best player on that team, and I hope to be by my senior year.
Of course,
the star player, but I mean, I wouldn't want to go to a team like you could go not Power 4 and you could be the best players, have a bunch of accolades and score all the goals, but do you really want all the glory? Like you need to work for yourself.
Absolutely. What do you plan on studying at LSU?
Business right now, but I think that might change because of the math.
Math is difficult.
Yeah, I struggled a little bit in the spring, so I think I might change it, but I really have no idea yet. I think I'm just trying to figure out. My mom jokes that I'm majoring in soccer, so.
Well, that was going to be another question that I had for you. Past LSU, do you have any aspirations to, play at an even higher level than that?
Yeah, I want to play for the NWSL, like when I get older, and obviously I want to finish out my college degree because it's so important.
Of course.
And I think my mom would agree. But yeah, I definitely want to play professional, whether it's overseas or in the National Women's Soccer League here. I mean, it's just growing. It's getting so much better. They just created a team in Boston. They just signed their first player. So
how sweet would that be?
It would be awesome.
Ryann Denecour playing for the Boston National Women's Soccer League team. That would be pretty sick.
Yeah, so I think that's really, and that's why I picked LSU. Like they have all the resources to get you there, and they have a lot of connections as well. So I think, and they produced a bunch of pro athletes. So I think it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, women's sports in general has just really taken off within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Talk about that. How was the support at LSU? Like, I know it was spring games and they might not be like as intense, high level or whatever. But do you guys get like a good amount of support at your games?
Yeah, we got a couple. Like obviously they didn't really advertise it as much, but during the season I went down there and I saw the Ole Miss game, and it was like I think they had like 3,000 people at their games. So I mean, obviously it's not 100,000 like the football team, but I mean for our stadium it looks pretty packed and it is fun, and they'll have the band sometimes, and we do a bunch of like promotional things. Like we'll do like fraternity night, and like we'll go to all the frat houses and offer them something.
Yep.
Like I think it was like they get a certain amount of money, what frat house comes the most. So
yep, absolutely.
I think it was like really good that they like want to support us and like they're willing. And obviously there's no men's soccer, so if you want to go watch soccer in LSU, you have to go watch the women. So I like that about that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Women's soccer is awesome. I'm a big women's soccer fan. But Ryann, thank you so much for sitting down with me. Is there any last message that you would give all of our listeners? Is any motivation, anything like that?
I think just follow your dreams and like understand that you are going to be the best version of yourself in whatever you do. And whether it's if you choose not to pursue soccer or a sport, you can find another love in something else and just be passionate about it.
Now, Addie, I have another question. Addie, how's her recruiting process going?
She actually just committed to Florida Southern.
So, that's right. I did see that. I should have known that.
No, yeah, she's really excited, and I'm excited that she'll be down south, so it'll be easier to get to her. And I think it went well. I mean, obviously, like, everything happens for a reason. Like, she didn't choose some of her schools, and now some of my old teammates are leaving those schools. So I'm happy for you that you chose Florida Southern. I think I've heard really good things about their program, and they have great facilities, and she's going to do well there.
Huge congratulations, Addie. And then how's Bree doing?
Bree's doing well. She
Yep.
has an internship, I think, down the street actually at a wealth management company. So she's just enjoying her college life. She studied abroad, and she found something other than soccer to be passionate about. So I mean, it's happens to everyone. Just
I think that's a big message that, Ryann has talked about, but it's also just really important to take away from this. Ryan's passion right now is soccer, right? Like, obviously, but who knows, you might find another passion in something else eventually, and I think that's so important for everybody to realize, like, you might not go pro, right? But there's always, especially at a school like LSU, so many resources, so many connections to be successful in so many other things beyond the field or the court that you play in.
Exactly. So.
All right. Well, Ryann, thank you. This is the inaugural episode of the Hot Seat with Dan LaBelle. Really appreciate your time. And you're heading down there Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday. I think it's 113 degrees down there right now. So
sweet.
Some fun workouts this week.
Well, after those workouts, you better, hit the cold tub, all that stuff. Get your rest and recovery. But really want to thank you for taking some time with me today. Got you just before you left, so I messaged you at the right time. All right, well, everybody, this is going to do it for the inaugural episode of The Hot Seat with Dan LaBelle here on 321 Media. We'll keep you updated on the next episode that is going to come. I want to thank you all for listening, and have a great day.
Hi, I'm Chris Kozłowski, owner of Broadview Florist and Garden Center in Duns Corners. For over 40 years, our family-owned business has been your go-to destination for beautiful, custom-made floral arrangements. Whether it's a special event or just to brighten up your day, we create highest quality designs tailored just for you. Trust Broadview Florists to make every moment unforgettable. Visit us today or give us a call at 401-322-0390.
Let's all go to